Welcome back, St. Lucia. You are waking up in the know with This Morning, and I'm your host, Chayla Mendez. Now, earlier this week, we met with Papa Anthony, and we had morning tea where he shared the roots, history, and tradition of St. Lucia Carnival. So we thought it would only be fitting that we went in search of a very special tribe. We're at the mass camp for Tribe of 12, which is one of the few bands with the traditional style mass camp still keeping the authenticity of St. Lucia Carnival alive. With me, we have the man hard at work, known for his creative mind, Mr. Adrian Auger, who is one of the founding members as well as head designer for Tribe of 12, and he's going to give us the story behind the tribe.
Hey Shayla, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm excellent. Trying to deal with some contact cement here, which is, if you want traditional mass, that's as traditional as it gets. Contact cement being used to put two pieces of sponge together. It doesn't get more traditional than that.
That's why we're at a real mass camp today.
So, tell me, what brings you here?
Well, we came in search of the tribe because we really wanted to know the story behind the band.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the story behind the band is, this is a collection of people who really like making mass. Many of us come from other bands, notably St. Lucian Spirit, Excess Energy, and Rituals. And we have over the years witnessed, I suppose you could say, the decline really of our other bands, which tended to be traditional bands, all of us chasing the same thing. Authentic scene, very strong portrayal, memberships of 500-600 if you're lucky, and finding that the era for that sort of thing has really passed. I mean, whether we care to admit it or not, we recognize that that's not necessarily what everybody is looking for. So we have all over the years closed down our respective bands. I think Excess was one of the first to go. St. Lucian Spirit went a little later. Rituals closed down about 2 years ago. And having done that, another door opened. That is, we got together and we said, well, what is it we really, really want to do? We want to make mass. We want to make mass and play mass. So we got together and sort of rethought the whole history, the whole evolution of where we were at and where we wanted to go. And we remembered in the old days, what did we do? Well, you had a theme and you had drawings and you agreed on what you wanted to portray, and then everybody went off and did their own costume. So in a sense, we said, well, why don't we try the old method again, since that is still fundamentally who we are and what we want to be involved in. And so we had a gathering. We don't have meetings, we have gatherings. Gatherings are places for food and drink. Meetings are places where you talk and we're not quite sure what to talk about. So this way we have food and drink. And we had a gathering and we kind of put it together. And then I recirculated this note and everybody said, yeah, that's what we want to do. So here we are, a collection of mass makers and mass players. Our core is about 100 strong. That's about all we want to be. That's about all we need to be, quite frankly. And the band is a very simple model. You pay a basic entrance fee, which covers your food and your drink, your security, your music, and stuff like that. And then you are responsible for making your own costume. So you can use something that you have already, but most of our people who are really interested in making mass, they want to create something new. So while they might recycle a little bit of the material, and so generally, because the themes vary significantly from year to year, people are in fact making their mask. So if you come back this evening, you might find 15, 20, 25 people here. I am both helping to make the kings and queens as well as making their own wings and headpieces. And so it's a little nostalgic. It's a little bit about how Carnival used to be, but it's really what makes our hearts sing. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that was actually perfect. Now tell us about the portrayal for Carnival 2016.
The portrayal for this year is based on Dante's divine poem, which has 3 major sections. Inferno, which is hell, Purgatorio, which is purgatory, and Paradiso, which is heaven. And we have decided to use that as our inspiration. So we're not doggedly trying to reproduce it, but rather be inspired by it. And so we've called it the soul's journey to joy and glory. Our joy and glory is Carnival, so that's how we are expressing it. But most of the, I suppose the identifying trademark of the band is that almost everybody's going to have wings. And so we've gone for this sort of angelic ethic, this sort of angelic motif that runs right through the band. So most of the costumes will have wings, including the big costumes.
Great. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 40 years that you have been helping to create and design for masks, correct?
Yeah, it's without doing the math on TV. Yeah, I made my first Queen of the Man's costume at 17, and so without doing the math on TV, it's about that long. Yeah.
Great. So, I mean, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. For you to continuously, for such a long period of time, be contributing in this way, what really drives you to keep at it? Because, I mean, at any point, somebody would say, okay, you know, this is too much, I'm going to give up.
Well, you say that at least once every year, to tell you the truth. I've thought it this year, I thought it last year, I've thought it for many years. There were times when, you know, we didn't think that we wanted to continue rituals, but other people said, you know, no, keep on going because it's important to us. So you do the mass for a mixture of generosity and selfishness. Most artists have a need to express themselves, and whether you paint or draw or sculpt or sing, it really is a element of vanity in there, whether we care to acknowledge it or not. I mean, to see your work on the road, embraced by the public, embraced by your reveler, and looking good is a great thrill. And I imagine it's very much the same for somebody who paints a beautiful painting and has it admired by other people. But you also do it as an act of generosity. The artist has to create. I mean, it's in his soul, it's in his heart. You have to create. This thing will consume you if you do not give it life. It's like making a baby. You just have to. It has to come out, right? So. So it's a very maternal process because you own it, you love it, you nurture it, you listen to it, you feed it, and then this thing emerges, and hopefully it does. You know. So what keeps you going? A little bit of selfishness, a little bit of generosity, a lot of love for the art itself, and for us in this particular endeavor, it really is a team. It really is a team spirit. All of us meet in the same place, sort of thing, every year. Sometimes these are people that you don't see for the rest of the year. But at carnival time, the tribe, as we call it, the tribe comes together. And, you know, you have people who are good at doing certain things. And so the final skirting of the costume or the application of braid just right, or the spray painting of something, everybody has their role and their contribution to make. And you look forward to entering into teamwork with those people and bringing this thing. So you have mothers, fathers, nenes, aunties, uncles, cousins, and people there. There's a team who stayed here last night, right through.
What, are you serious?
Right through, yes. And they wanted to. It's not just because we had work to do, which you always have work to do, but they wanted to stay and they made their arrangement. They stayed throughout the whole night. We have some wonderful young people, Alyssa, Tanisha, Chelsea, who have, you know, taken to the mass, and it's really heartwarming to see how dedicated they have been. That's Chelsea right there putting the final touches on the king costume. And that also, you know, makes you feel good as well, because you feel you're passing on information, you're passing on technology, which can be used for anything, theater, TV, movies, you know, communication. So here we are. We're actually preparing for King and Queen of the Bands tomorrow night, Thursday, at the Cultural Center. Please come. We're working on 3 costumes. The first one, which is right here, is called Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. It's based on an old Negro spiritual, and it deals with, it's really a whimsical look at death. The Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is a Negro spiritual about the wonders of going up to heaven, and we're saying, no, the wonders are right here. So the character is driving this wonderful winged chariot, and she's having a ball in the carnival. That's the sort of the lightest of the themes. Slightly heavier theme is the second queen, which is this way. And that's going to be played by Sharon Tanner. And that is called Lotus Blossom of Peace and Joy and Tranquility. So that's Lotus Blossom of Joy and Tranquility. And that is really a commentary on finding inner peace. The the whole band is about going upward into enlightenment and wisdom. So that's very much part of the theme. And the last costume we're working on is the king, which I am carrying, unfortunately. And well, our regular King Martin Dorval, who we'd like to say hello to and wish him well, is extremely busy, so he has done me the honor of leaving the costume in my hands. And it is called Ascension, and it's really about the soul's journey to heaven. So we have depicted several souls, literally, rising upward to light, happiness, joy, purity. So it's going to be, I think, quite, it's quite a task, but we've enjoyed it. It's a labor of love.
It's going to be something definitely to see that come to life as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's happening, and we're very pleased and relieved that we are this far ahead, actually. All right. So we're hoping not to work tomorrow. That's the big secret. We want to finish tonight.
All right. Great. So King and Queen of the Bands happening Carnival Thursday. And then, of course, we're going to have Tribe Up 12 in their glory on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. So make sure you come out, come and see it, come experience this type of mass. And again, something that is an authentic St. Lucian product. So we'll see you on the road, but don't go anywhere. We have more in store. Welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching This Morning right here on DBS. I'm your host, Sheila Mendez. And as you can see, well, the mass fever is already catching me. And we're still at the Tribe of 12 mass camp, and we're giving you more of the faces behind the mass. Carnival Thursday, the event to look out for is King and Queen of the Bands. And with me, I am again with royalty. I have Sharon Tanner, who was last year's winner and a winner for many years when it comes to the Queen of the Band competition, as well as we have Tanisha Williams.
Yes.
And she is no stranger either. In it for about 10 years, third place last year. So very much top contenders for the competition this Carnival Thursday. So Sharon, just tell us a little bit about how this all started for you. What made you just decide to be involved with the competition?
Where do I start? Well, I've always been interested in the arts, love the arts, been to art school and everything, so I guess it's from there. The area first I saw her carrying Queen, and then from there it hit me that I want to do this too, and she spoke with Mr. Auger, and after she quit, I took over. And it's been going on from since then. That's maybe about 10 years too, Tanisha? Yeah.
All right, great. Now, a little birdie, of course, told me that you're no stranger when it comes to winning the competition. So how many years have you won, and how does it feel each time, to come out so strong?
I think this is this would be my 6th year winning. My 5th year so far, 5th year so far, and it's been good. Hard work. It's just fun and hard work. Determination is the passion, the love, all that drives me to do what I do in the mass camp, and also carry the Queen costume, because trust me, it's not easy.
Great. Now, you know what? We've been here and we're seeing you hard at work, putting together pieces on your costume, with such a level of involvement as well. Where does that dedication come from?
Where does that come from? Like I said, it comes from the heart. It's a passion. It's what I like to do, because I went to an art school and all that, the arts, everything drives me into dance, all arts, all the art forms. I love working with my hands, so it's just a passion. That's it.
Great. And of course, let's not forget, we have another person, as we said, 10 years into the competition. Again, one of the more youthful members taking part in it. We have Tanisha. She came third last year. How was that experience for you?
Well, coming third last year was a little disappointment, because I'm normally always second after the Queen, Sharon Tanner. So I was a bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's always, one to win, one to lose. But I'm still a winner, still a Queen, 12 mass camp, always.
Great. Now, one thing that I noticed and I really love, especially about the energy with everybody here, everybody is equally dedicated. Everybody's putting in time. From the moment we walked in, you're sticking pieces on a costume, somebody's cutting, and it's like all hands on deck. When did you discover that this was something you enjoyed, being part of the mass camp?
Basically, it started from birth. My mom, she worked with Adrian Auger for years, Jeunesse Designs, and growing up, I just got involved with everything, be it decorating, being on stage, whatnot. And then it just built up. So, the passion comes from the heart. And growing up, I just developed more stuff that I can do with the arts. And, I enjoy that.
Great. Now, the competition is this Thursday, Carnival Thursday. How are you feeling and how have the preparations been?
I am pumped. I'm excited. Sharon Tanner, I'm going to win it this year. Just saying.
Listen, these ladies have a chemistry. There's competition, but there's lots of love as well. You can't escape it.
Yeah. The preparation has been not much days, not much weeks, but everything just pulls together. Everybody comes on an evening, work together, and, we pull it off really well.
Great. Now, again, being part of the younger members in the mass camp, how does it feel to be involved in something that really is just more authentic to St. Lucia Carnival?
Well, for me, being one of the younger members, to me, it's not really being a younger member. It's like being a senior member of it because I get to teach people how to do things because they come around and they don't know, but they're interested in doing it. So I get the opportunity to teach them and I stand as a role model to them as well.
Great. So what do you think of Carnival right now and where it's going?
Well, I think now it's kind of starting to pick up from where it has been. A lot of people they rather just the bacchanal part of it, but it's more or less the costuming, not panty and bra, but getting together and doing the work. It's just I think it's getting somewhere than where it was before.
Great. Now, again, since you're going to be taking part, what can we expect on the stage on the night from you?
Carnival Thursday evening, I will be portraying Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. It's a masquerader dancing to the feet death. She's a beauty queen, and she's cutting style because she's not going to be buried. She's
alive, right?
She's alive.
Love it. So tell us where it's happening. Again, we know it's Carnival Thursday.
National Cultural Center, 8 p.m. Be there.
And you know what? You have no reason to miss it because it's a free event, okay? Now, Sharon as well is going to tell us why you, sitting at home, need to make sure you come out and support.
Come and support what Carnival is all about, what making costumes are all about. Because remember, in the days we made our costumes from scratch. We don't have the panties and bras like the new manufacturing stuff that's happening now. Yes. Come see what costuming is all about. King and Queen of the Bands, Thursday, Cultural Center grounds, 8 p.m.
All right, so these ladies and everybody in here are not working this hard for an event where nobody's going to come out and see. So there's so much love and passion going into this. This is why you need to be there. So Carnival Thursday, we're going to check it out as well. So be there and join us. Now, I'm going to get back to helping in the mass camp. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Faces of Mass. Thank you again for joining. This is definitely an episode not to miss. We're bringing you more faces behind the mask. And I have Mr. John Joseph, but of course, if you're wondering, who's that? I'm sure if I say JJ, you're going to know because everybody knows Excess Energy as well. And he is here, again, part of Tribe of 12, the mask camp. And he's going to tell us about his love affair with Carnival.
It started quite a long time ago. It's where I started playing mass at SMC, actually with Diamond Steel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and went from there to Royal Heights. And I got even deeply involved with it because my son played as a junior individual for Royal Line. So I think I then lost my love for Pan and got into mass. Although I'm still with Pan.
I was North Stars, kind of
that
indirect
That
rivalry.
was my original band.
Oh, no. That's good to know.
That's good stuff. Yeah, so I've been involved in the mass for quite some time. So left Royal Line, formed Excess Energy. And then, it peaked.
Of course. Well, listen, anybody who's anyone knows Excess Energy. And trust me, because I still remember it. Even when I was little and wanted to play mass, I would look at the kids section and just want to be part of it. So Excess definitely.
The juniors was actually my first love. I really enjoyed doing it.
Nice.
It was fantastic, yeah. But that peaked and I kind of stayed away from it for a while. But as usual, I can't stay away from making the big costumes.
Exactly.
So when Adrian decided to do this, I thought it was an excellent experiment. People made their own masks. So we came in and did the Kings and Queens from last year. We continue doing that. We're really enjoying it.
Great. Now, you again are definitely one of the names synonymous with St. Lucia Carnival, a face that's very well known. What keeps you, all of these years with all the struggles that have been faced with our carnival, what keeps you coming back and just giving this kind of contribution?
I suppose without loving it and having the energy to do it, you really can't, because nothing can pay you for this.
True.
So, the passion is there. We love doing this. We'll keep doing it until we can, so not a problem at all.
And when did you first discover that you had this love for carnival?
Far back. I don't think I can remember that. But actually at school, a lot of my friends played Pan actually. So that kind of got me into the carnival. But not playing Pan then, I decided to play mass with MSC. I only started playing Pan in the 80s, late 80s. So I've experienced all of carnival, everything. So I think it's quite an experience. It kind of tapped into creativity that you have. So I dabble in writing. I come up with the concepts. I'm not an artist, so I don't get involved in design. But in terms of building a theme, bringing a story to life, that I do very well.
Great. And for creative individuals, how important do you think having the support is to help foster that creativity?
Well, it's always good to have people identify with what you're doing. When they carry the mass and they believe what they're carrying, it really makes you happy. You actually can produce more that way. But when there's a disconnect between the actual mass and the reveler, then there's really not a reason to do this anymore. So I think if the reveler is very involved in the mass, they know what they're carrying, they believe it makes a big difference. It brings out the story a lot better.
Right, perfect. Well, this is, again, JJ, another face behind the mask, definitely has helped make history with St. Lucia Carnival. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy the carnival.
So I'm here with Mark Louis, another key face behind the mass, people who are instrumental and still pioneering to push authentic St. Lucia mass. How are you today?
Fine, but just time.
Well, listen, we managed to drag him out because they've been busy at work, and trust me, the heat is real, so I can imagine. I feel like I've been working in the mass camp too. But Mark, give us your story and, how your involvement in Carnival, where did you all begin?
Well, basically it began in school. At the time, Kiddies Carnival was run by the St. Joseph's Convent Past Pupils Association. It was a big thing. And then when I went into second school, it continued. Unfortunately for me, around my home at La Paz, I had quite a number of bands. There was Marshall, there was Daniel. So more or less, the environment I grew up in was a carnival environment. So it was nothing strange that I gravitated into it as I grew older.
Perfect. And I know you also mentioned that you started as a reveler. You progressed into producing and even designing. So tell us about that journey.
It's a very interesting journey because, as I said to you earlier, I was purely a reveler, just jumping with excess energy for all of those years. Until my cousin John Joseph said to me, Mark, stop being a reveler, let's get serious. You better be part of the management of excess energy. And I volunteered and never became deeply involved in just the general management of the band and the production of things in the band. And that's where it began. And after excess phased off, I moved into Lucian Spirits, where I played an even bigger role, helping Mrs. Joningson, designing, production, supervising, quality control. And I must confess, under 12, it blossomed into what you're seeing now. So it is something to me that was always there. The talent was always there. I just found what I call a rich soil for it to grow within the tribe of 12.
Great. And how does it feel? Again, because I realize one common thing here is this love, the passion, and everybody, again, wanting that make your mass feel and not the mass production, things coming down in containers. So how does it feel to work in an environment like this with a whole bunch of persons with that shared vision?
I think that is what brought us together because, as you recognize, Adrian came from Rituals, Gigi came from Excess Energy. And when they were deciding the future of the mass generally in St. Lucia, it just felt that we were losing what was the authentic carnival. And the authentic, what I call mass camp environment, where you sit down with your friends, you chat, you fall asleep. And in the end, you begin to produce something that it's you, that you want to be part of. And that is what I think the Tribe of 12 is doing. It's giving everybody the opportunity to be a designer, be a masquerader, portray themselves as a king and queen and doing something that they all like in the way that they like it.
Right.
So as Adrian must have said to you, everybody who's jumping is actually designing their own costume under the guidance from Reese, Adrian, Gigi and Sheen. But everybody's part and parcel of that costume you're seeing. It is not something outside that you fit into it. It is something that reflects your own personality, your own style, your own choice. And it's a wonderful feeling. What I am not sure as to whether that will take root and spread throughout all the other carnival bands, but I wish that it happens.
Right. Because you know what? One thing a lot of people don't understand really what a real mass camp is like, that it's about the experience. So tell us a little bit more about really what a mass camp is all about.
The first thing about a mass camp is friendship. That is where people come together as one group, one family, not only in terms of the carnival spirit itself, but in terms of human relations, because for you to run a mass camp, there ought to be very good human relations. So it's almost like a cooperative, where everybody puts in their effort to see a final product at the end. And in so doing, you get to understand each other's mannerisms, what gets one angry, because sometimes tensions can fly. But you get to understand that. You even get to what I call resolve conflicts, because there would be conflicts as to what to do when, how to do what, a color choice, a scheme or something. Sometimes I've cut a pattern for Mr. Oja and says, Mark, that's not what I'm thinking of. But you don't get angry. You just sit back and work at it because everybody's striving for that perfection in what you will see on the road. So generally the feeling is one of almost I am the mass, so to speak. I am the carnival. I'm not outside of it. It's not outside of me. I am the real thing. So that's what it really is about.
Great. And what would you like to see for the future of St. Lucia Carnival?
Quite frankly, I've reflected on it for the past 3 years together with Adrian and Gigi. So where the direction the mass would take. And I'm of the view that we're losing what I call the real understanding of carnival. It is not a street party. In fact, quite frankly, I don't like the term street party. It is more or less a reflection and expression that has its roots way back in the 19th century. And it cannot be treated as a street party. It is the reflections of one's aspirations, of one's dream. One can also say it's an era where you release tension, because it has that effect of releasing tension. But it is not a street party for partying sake, as I've always said. If you want a party, go out home and have one. And we must always be mindful that there is a public that comes out to see a spectacle and not the sameness and oneness. In fact, I heard a Calypso song this morning saying everything is one, one, one. It has to show and capture what is it that you're portraying, what is this mass about, and the linkage between the mass that we play and the historical connections, as I said, way back in the 19th century. I fear that we are losing it. But I have one satisfaction, and I remember saying that to Gigi, because like Gigi and Imber Charles, I am one of those persons who visit Trinidad very often for Carnival. And I remember remarking to them, I am sensing a return back to what I call traditional mass. I said that to them last year. And when I went down to Trinidad, I saw it. In fact, there's one of the bands that struck me called The Lost Tribe.
Yes.
And if you ever read the write-up on it, it actually says a whole generation has grown up not knowing what real carnival is. And consequently, part of that band's tribute this year was to expose persons to what carnival was. And if you follow it closely, you realize a number of other bands were portraying themes from the past. I recall one was playing Woodbrook in the 19th century. And I could see that return to what it was and the moving away from just one last street parties. I have the good feeling that ripple effect will be felt here also as we travel, as we expose this Trinidad Carnival more and more every year. we'll recognize that little semblance of the return to what I call the traditional mass. And that my hope is that one day we too will see the need to find that blend between the modern and what I call the cultural aspect. We need to find that blend. We can't hold back change, but that blend must be found. And my hope is that one day that will happen.
Great. Well, you heard it straight. Iconic man here, again, helping us make history with St. Lucian Carnival. So I can feel the passion. It's really a labor of love. Listen, like I said, the heat is real, the sweat is real, the amount of effort going into this is a lot. So come out Carnival Thursday, it's about King and Queen of the Bands. And Carnival Monday and Tuesday, be sure to look out for Tribe of 12. All right, they are going to be part of the bands on parade. So I feel like I'm now part of the tribe.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to go back and work as now I've gotten the real mass camp experience. So I hope you enjoyed this journey. That's our show for today. Stay tuned for more tomorrow.